Welcome back in. First things first, the OT, Danny Parkins with Greg Jennings here. And there was only one person who could be the first guest of the OT, and that is, of course, the new head coach of my Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson. I don't know how we got a Packer and a Viking.
I mean, I think it's his Chicago Bears.
Our Chicago Bears. Coach, can it be our Chicago Bears?
That's right, 100%.
And again, I'm sorry that a Packer and a Viking had to be here, but thank you so much for the time. You know, it's been an interesting training camp to watch from afar in preseason, and the starters looked so good in that second preseason game. You said it yourself, kind of disappointing in the most recent one. How do you feel like their readiness is about 13 days away from the opener?
No, listen, I think it was really good for us to get through that experience with Kansas City. There's a reason why Kansas City's been to the Super Bowl the last 3 years. And so our guys knew that, they felt that, and we would much rather get punched in the mouth a little bit in the preseason as opposed to when the real bullets are flying here in a minute. And so it was good for us. You gotta bring your A game when you go against a team like that. You know how good their quarterback is. You know how well coached they are across the board. And I think what jumped out was their team speed as well was all over offense and defense. And so a good learning experience. I think it's exactly what we needed at that point in the training camp. And now we'll be able to circle back and make our corrections and worry about the next thing.
You've called this a process, Coach. How patient are you?
Well, yeah, this league isn't patient. We want results instantly. But yet there's a way in which those results will become second nature. And so we're worried about the things that we can control. And I hate going through all this coach speak, but it is the truth. We're going to go control what we can control, which is our effort, which is our preparation. And we're going to worry about getting a little bit better every single day. And so I feel really good about our mindset as a team right now. I feel really good about this coaching staff. I love this locker room. We have a number of guys that not only are talented players, but they're really good leaders and people as well. So I'm excited to see where this season goes, and we're all going to grow together.
Speaking of the growth, you know, when you took the job, you said that Caleb was, I watched the press conference back, like a large component of your decision to take the job. Now that you've had a few months with him, when you look at that talent, what do you see as Caleb Williams' ceiling?
Yeah, I don't want to even put a cap on it because he's got the ability, he's got rare ability to throw the football, and I feel strongly about his decision-making. It's coming along. He's taken the coaching that myself, JT Barrett, Declan Doyle, all these guys that we have in the quarterback room, he's taking that and he's working to apply it. Now, is it coming so fast that we feel like he's going to be at his ceiling this year? No, absolutely not. But he's getting better every single day. There are some clips in that game against Kansas City that to the untrained eye or to the casual observer, they might just think, whatever. But to us, they were glimpses of really good quarterback play in this league. They were winning football in this league. And it's our challenge as coaches and as Caleb as a player to just get that more consistently, because if he can do that, then we got a chance to be pretty darn good on offense.
So, Coach, oftentimes, you know, when we're watching games as viewers and obviously as a former player, like, we don't know what you guys are working towards. The fans don't know what you guys are working on and what you as a coach want to see from your players. Caleb, as Danny just mentioned, you mentioned, he's going to be a huge component of whether you guys are successful this year. We know he has a talent. You just alluded to that. But there comes a moment and there comes a time in every player's career, and he's early in his career, where the maturation process, the mental part of the game, the understanding what's being expected, when it's expected, has to show up. Are you seeing that a lot in practice? Is it showing up where we don't get the opportunity to see it as much on display in these early preseason games?
Listen, it'll come on the field in due course. I think what we see and we really appreciate is his approach in this building right now. He's putting in more time and more effort than he ever has probably in his entire career, you know, high school, college, and certainly in the NFL. And so he's learning what it takes to be great at this level. There's always areas that we can get better, but there's a time expectation, there's preparation expectation, and we're getting closer to where we want to go in terms of him being prepared once he does hit the field. Because here's the thing, you see it, he has this natural instincts and ability to him, and all we're trying to do is get him to see the game through our lens so that he can play even faster once we hit the grass. So I'm really pleased about where he's gone over the course of camp, and I think we're going to continue to see those strides as we go through the season.
One thing I was interested in, having watched every play of last year, he did a great job of not throwing interceptions, and that went back to college, right? Only 6 picks. He said that his favorite player was Aaron Rodgers, who famously had a 45 touchdowns, 6 interception season. Last year, Caleb was 20-6. But the flip side of that coin was he took 68 sacks. It seemed like sometimes, he didn't trust NFL Open, didn't trust his arm, didn't see it and release it. How do you balance aggression, big plays, maybe occasionally putting the ball in harm's way a little bit versus the conservatism that it seemed to creep in last year where he was just eating it and taking too many sacks?
Yeah, I mean, you learn through your reps and practice what you can and you can't get away with. And so, that's why I chuckle a little bit when I see, hey, he had a 2 or 3 interception practice. Well, that's how you learn, and that's how you figure out what you can and you can't fit in there, and when we should be aggressive and we shouldn't be. So I was okay with how camp went in that regard. I think the biggest learning curve for him since we entered the building was being able to play the game and trust your feet. And that's been a little bit of a foreign concept. He wasn't trained that way as a college quarterback. He had tons of success being able to just drop back and find the open guy and hit him in stride. And so now you talk about the sacks being such a big part of the game, and we can help eliminate those by getting the ball out of his hands in time. And it's part of trusting his feet, hitching to the first progression, moving on to the second. And then the ticker has to go off in your head in terms of when do I need to throw this ball away, or when can I extend the play on my own if I got a clean pocket. Are we there yet? No, there's still growth to be had. You saw it last game. We took a sack and we had pretty good protection. But then there were some other clips in that same game where he's doing it right and it looked really darn good. And so we just got to get that out of him a little bit more, and we're going to be just fine.
Look, Coach, you took this job, obviously offensive mind, had great success in Detroit with that offense. The fans of Chicago, even some of us who've played against those Bears teams of old, we understand who they are defensively. But you were brought in as an offensive mind. You obviously have a quarterback.
Score points.
To score points, exactly. You obviously have a quarterback that's young, that's getting his feet wet. Give us a player or a group that is going to be essential for you guys as an offense to be successful. We know Caleb is the obvious, but give us a player or a group that's going to be impactful on your success.
It's more, to me, the offensive line. It still starts there and ends there with offensive football. I don't think that's a secret. I know the game has changed over the years, but you still win and lose games in the trenches. And I know that modern football's maybe gone away from the running game a little bit, more towards the passing game, but that doesn't matter. You need to be able to establish the line of scrimmage, play on their side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball when you're running it, and then on offense, you got to be able to, in the passing game, be able to pass protect for your quarterback. And so I'm fairly pleased with how that's come together for us. We're still a work in progress. Finding the right 5 guys, and that might be something that goes into the season as well. I'm talking about the left tackle has been a battle that we've gone back and forth on. I think we feel good about the direction we're going to go early in the season here, but that's something we got to keep our eye on there. But if we can run the ball effectively, which we plan to do, and we can protect a little bit better than what we did last year here, then I think that's really the best case scenario for Caleb's success as well.
Coach, the host of First Things First, Kevin Wildes, was a huge proponent of you getting the Bears job, but he's also a big Eagles guy, and he loves the tush push. And when you said that there's never been an explosive play out of the tush push, he turned on you. He turned fast. And so I'm curious, are we concerned Philly's on the schedule this year? Are they going to maybe do a big play out of the tush push? Is any sort of revenge for your comments?
No, listen, all I'm saying, it's just not my cup of tea, and that's fine. The Philly's got it. They can trademark that play, and that's all good. They can have that one. There's a couple of plays that I feel strongly about that I'd like to trademark for us. So it's fine.
Do you have one that we haven't seen yet that you've got saved away for week 2 against your old team?
Maybe, but the play that I love, the play that I loved last year was the laterals that we were doing. We did it 4 or 5 times, and they were all big plays. And then Buffalo comes in and practices against us, and in practice they did it and they scored a touchdown on us. I'm like, that's our darn play. I mean,
that is your play.
They're stealing it from us.
Imitation's the highest form of flattery. Coach, thank you so much for joining FTF the OT here. We really appreciate you. Good luck this year.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.